Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 24th annual KUMB.com Awards. 24 years we've been doing it now, and here we are once again for tonight's live show. We hope as many of you as possible can join us. I'm going to start by introducing you to the rest of the team. There are four of us joining you tonight to bring you the results of 12 categories. First of all, I'm joined by Gnome. How you doing, buddy?
Evening, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. How's yourself?
I'm all right, actually. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm a little bit lethargic because I had my second COVID jab yesterday, so I'm struggling to stay awake at the moment. But apart from that, it's all good. Everything's good. But
You should be old, mate. You get it months ago.
well, you know, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But yeah, no, I'm okay, thank you. I'm okay. Rio, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks, mate. Nice to see you all again.
Yes, it seems like it's been forever, doesn't it? But it's only about 2 weeks, I think.
Was it that long? Last time I did it, it was live from the bar, and it was very noisy, and I think it didn't come across too well. But there you go.
Yeah, it was actually a really good experiment, wasn't it? We may be doing that again next season. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, fingers crossed. I thought it went pretty well anyway. DL, good to see you back on the team, buddy. How are you?
Very good, actually. Very good. Tired. I went out for a walk today.
How did it go?
Did lots of photos. I walked 3.5k. It went very well. Considering I was blowing out my backside after 200 yards a fortnight ago, that's progress. It's good. Feeling good, but tired.
Good to hear it. And just to let everybody know how we're doing this tonight, we have got 12 categories to bring you. We've divvied them up into 3 lots of 4 that the chaps will be bringing you, and we hope it's our aim anyway. It's our aim and intention to get everything out of the way before the start of the first game in Euro 2020, which kicks off, I believe, at 8 p.m. tonight, isn't it? It's Turkey versus the Italians, isn't it? I think. So yeah, we shall endeavour to have everything done and dusted by the time you want to sit down and watch that. It's just say hello, of course, to everybody joining us on the live stream. Thank you for doing that, and we hope you let us know what you think of the results. Let us know who you think should have won, who you voted for, etc. in the live chat. Yeah, so we better push on because we've only got 90 minutes to rattle through 12 categories tonight. So yeah, let's push on and start. Going all the way back to 1997 when Harry Redknapp still held the managerial reins at Upton Park, readers of Knees Up Mother Brown have been voting on an annual basis for their favourites and not so favourite. Now I've lost totally where I am. Contenders. From the previous campaign. It's going well tonight, isn't it? Including... where are we? Including John Hartson, who was nominated as your very first KUMB Player of the Year at the end of the 1997-98 season. There have been no less than 21 different winners, although just one, Scott Parker, has won the award more than once. The current first team squad, Mark Noble, Aaron Cresswell, Manuel Lanzini and Declan Rice can count themselves as previous winners of the main title. And with only one of that particular foursome really in the running for this season's main award, we may well be set to crown a 22nd Player of the Year tonight. But who will it be? Well, stay tuned to find out. All shall be revealed very soon. There is, of course, much more to tonight's show than just crowning the 2020-21 KUMB Player of the Year. We have an additional 11 categories to name winners in tonight, those being the most missed player, best signing, most improved player, worst player of the season, goal of the season, most memorable match, the young player of the year, Hackett of the year, my particular favourite, that one, most memorable moment, and 2 brand new categories this year, the best KUMB writer featuring the very best independent writers that we feature in KUMB's opinion section, and another brand new one, the KUMB Award of Distinction. For the individual or individuals who have made a significant contribution to West Ham over the course of the last year or beyond. Now, usually we would have been announcing another 2 winners, but due to popular demand and a genuinely insufficient list of contenders this season, we've rested the worst signing category this year. Also not included for the first time is the most disappointing moment, again, largely for the same reason. It's been a really good season, thoroughly enjoyable. West Ham's second best ever finish in the Premier League or in the top flight. So we want to make it a positive, fun one tonight. So we're going to, It's going to be a good one, hopefully. But hellos already to SH, to Hobo, to Last Caress. Good to see you on the chat there, fellas. Let us know what you think of the awards as we go along. Everyone else, of course, joining us at the same time. We are going to get off 5 minutes into the show. We've only got 85 minutes now until Euro 2020 kicks off. So we're going to push on with the first category, which is most missed. Now, someone remind me who's got category number one, because I've lost my list.
That is me.
DL, over to you. Category number one.
Right, category of most missed. Now, previous winners include Dimitri Payet back in 2016-17, Diafra Sakho in 2017-18, James Collins in 2018 and 19, and last year was Marko Arnautovic. This year in third place, we have Grady Diangana. In second place, we have Sebastian Haller. But in first place, well ahead on 52%, over half the votes, it is Robert Snodgrass, the very, very decent man that he is, the man who is most missed, because he is. He was a decent chap to have around the dressing room, and was popular with all the other players and the fans. So well done, Robert. You have got the first award this year.
Second KUMB award for Snodgrass, even though he's no longer here, of course. He was previously the most improved player in the 2018-19 season. The most missed player tonight, Rio, looking at the players that have gone, would you go along with that one?
Yeah, pretty much so. Let's face it, in the dressing room and on the pitch, Robert Snodgrass gave his all.
Yeah,
he was a really key part of the squad morale when he was here. Every time he made an appearance for us, he worked his socks off. So, yeah, we miss people like that. We're always going to.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, playing at West Brom now. Didn't play against us just after he signed, did he, Gnome? Because there was that little incident with Big Sam, who revealed, just happened to let everybody know that there was a gentleman's agreement, wasn't there, between the two clubs. I think last week the Premier League decreed that there was nothing to follow up on that, and neither club would be punished. But yeah, Robert Snodgrass, one you miss.
Yeah, and it's something that people also forget, was that the club's ownership came out with some less than complimentary comments about Snodgrass when we signed him. So yeah. So we miss him, even if they don't. Let's put it that way.
Yes, of course, coming in second and third, Sebastian Haller and Grady Diangana. Interesting one. Now, let's just a quick word about Grady, DL. We, there was all that furore, wasn't there, at the start of the season when the club sold him. It looked like he was striking up that partnership with Haller in pre-season, and then David Sullivan sold him to Albion again for, 18 million, I think it was. In retrospect, did Sullivan have it right?
I couldn't possibly agree with that at all. Just because I can't bring myself to say it.
I'll take that as a yes then. Rio, Grady Diangana, did we miss him in the end?
In the end, no. I think we said it throughout the season when we was doing the broadcast that it wasn't so much the player, it was the ethics behind it. Get rid of a really promising young player. Obviously, the step up to the Premiership was a massive one. And in a struggling team, he's failed to hit the mark. But, we wish him very well. We hope he continues to flourish and prove everybody wrong. But as for being missed, not this year for us.
I did say last year, didn't I, that usually when we let a youngster go, we don't often get it wrong. And I think, again, I can't say it.
Yeah, David Moyes made a good decision there, I think.
He did, yes. Moyes made a great decision.
Something that we've missed there is that, he didn't have a great season at West Brom, but it was it was a horrible season for him. It was highly punctuated with injury.
Yeah.
And, which was probably responsible for his lack of impact more than anything else. He was only sort of really coming back towards the end of the season, having missed a large chunk of it. So, yeah, if somebody knew that was going to happen, then yeah, well played. But I think it was the more the principle behind it. I mean, you know, even Mark Noble, as you mentioned, wasn't over happy with the situation, was he?
No, he wasn't, was he? Not at all. Kind of broke ranks there, didn't he? To put that message out on social media, bemoaning the fact that Grady had been sold. But yeah, interesting how it turned out in the end. And you know, I'm sure David Sullivan is sitting there with a bit of a smug grin on his face, you know, looking back at that one. Anyway, so there you go. Category number one, the first of the evening out of the way. Most missed player of 2020-21, Robert Snodgrass, taking 52% of your votes this year. We're going to move swiftly on to category number two now, which is the best signing. Some stiff competition this year on this one. And to bring us the result of this, we're going to move over to Gnome, who, in case you're not aware, is the chap in the Gnome t-shirt. Just down there. There you go. Gnome, over to you. Best signing.
I wore this especially for the hard of thinking. So, and that's us this side of the camera rather than the viewers.
Yes, very much so.
Anyway,
best signing
yeah,
of 2020-21.
Yeah, best signing 2020-21, which 1920, I believe, was Thomas Souček. Yeah, in third place with 2% of the vote was Craig Dawson. In second place with 9% of the vote was Jesse Lingard. But, well, let's say runaway leader. It's a landslide. Way ahead in front, this year's best signing was Vladimir Coufal with a massive 88% of the vote. Although Donald Trump is still debating that landslide.
Yeah, a first ever KUMB award for Coufal, who cost West Ham a shade over £5 million. The most comprehensive winner, in fact, in this year's awards, taking nearly 9 of every 10 votes cast. No, bargain of the season, not just for West Ham, but for everyone.
Way ahead in front. Best signing was Vladimir. Sorry, I've got lots of noise coming through from somewhere. Sorry. Yeah, very much so. I mean, he's the sort of player we love, isn't he? He's just look at his interaction with Grealish, for example. That attitude, that no nonsense. Yeah, he's just the sort of player we love. Terrific signing, and yeah, I think Moyes is going back to Souček. You think you got any more? But yeah, terrific player, and well deserved.
Yeah, very much so. Rio, I saw someone state recently, I think it was on the KUMB.com forum, and he said that Coufal sometimes doesn't, you know, particularly stand out in that team, but he never, if you're, you know, giving him a rating of something out of 10, he's never less than a 7 out of 10 player, which I thought was really quite accurate. I'm struggling to think of a bad game he's had since he joined us.
I don't think he's had one. I think he's been incredibly consistent.
Yeah.
He's led by example at times. You hear about the work he does on the training ground, staying late and doing extra stuff. Humble man, gets the bus home from training. Everything about him, it just exudes class for me. What a remarkable signing. And someone we only possibly signed because Ryan Fredericks got injured.
Yeah. Yes. Funny how fate goes, isn't it? But yeah, Coufal. Dio, are you a fan of the right back?
Well, I can't say no in case he comes after me. I'm sorry, yeah, he's a typical. He's going to be a cult hero, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's Thomas Repka with ability. He's superb. I love him a bit. I've seen the photo of him with his wife and the baby at the bus stop, and it's like it's just incredible. All that money, and he gets a bus. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, seems to be an incredibly humble individual, and one of those players. You know, it's been said, isn't it, quite a lot this year that there's a lot of likable players in that current squad, and certainly Coufal would live up to that tag.
Oh, absolutely. He's. I want to give him a cuddle. He'll probably eat me.
Yeah, he might bite your ear off at the same time. There you go. Vladimir Coufal, the best signing of 2020-21, according to the voters, according to you out there in the KUMB world. Some of the previous winners, no mention, Thomas Suchek last year, Lucas Fabianski, Marko Arnautovic, Eddie Milson Fernandez, Dimi Pyatt, going right back to the first few years when we started doing this. We had Isle Berkovic, Trevor Sinclair, Igor Stimac, Freddie Canute, Sebastian Schemmel, Rufus Brevitz, some names there, some big blasts from the past. Anyway, I digress. And sticking strictly to our 5-minute limit per category, we move swiftly on to category number 3 tonight. And this one's going over to Rio. It is for the best, it's a brand new one. It's the best KUMB writer. Now, this is a category which will give perhaps long-awaited recognition to some of our long-standing KUMB contributors who have worked diligently over the years for little, well, actually no reward whatsoever, to bring you some really good content. We've got a fabulous archive going back to the very beginning, to 1997. Of work, and we figured it would be a good idea, and about time we recognised some of those, who have put in the hours and the mileage with the pens to bring you that content. So, without further ado, I shall pass you over to Rio to bring us the top 3 in the very first Best KUMB Writer Award.
Okay, so in third place was John Simkin, who picked up 9% of the awards. In runner-up was Paul Walker with 36% of the votes. But the winner, by a slight margin, 43%, Preview Percy. Congratulations, you old gits.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Preview Percy, who of course went to YouTube this year, having been writing his previews for many, many years. We finally, put him on video. It seems to have gone all right. It seems to have been going down quite well as a very popular little following on our YouTube channel. I suppose really at this point I should pass this one over to Gnome to perhaps offer comment on this one. I don't know, Gnome, if you've perhaps spoken to Percy or would have had a few words that he might have liked to have said at this particular juncture.
I know what I would have said, but I'm sure he would be humbled. No, knowing him, he wouldn't be. I'm just concerned that now I've got to refer to him as the award-winning Preview Percy all the way through. But I'm sure he sends his thanks and to those that took the time to vote. But I think you're all mad.
Preview Percy, the very first KUMB Best Writer of the year, winning that, and of course a mention.
Can I ask because he's about to ask me? Is there a cash prize for this?
I'm sure we can rustle up some old farthings and shillings from the cash deal at KUMB Towers to send him. Maybe a trip to I don't know, Bognor Regis. Where do they go when they're 95 on their day trips these days? I'm not sure. Anyway, a special word also to John Simkin, who came third this year. John has been providing content for KUMB for many, many years, also on his own website, which is fabulous. Spartacus, I think it's called, isn't it? John's own site. Writes some fantastic historical articles about players from the 60s and 70s and a little more modern. And of course, runner-up this year, only narrowly beaten into second place, the fabulous Mr. Paul Walker, ex-Fleet Street. Now writing for KUMB in his spare time, but he's still got all those contacts out there that the old.
That's where the trophy ought to have gone.
Well, I can't possibly comment. I'm just reading the results out. But and of course, Preview Percy, who's been with us for about 15 years, I guess, maybe even longer, writing match previews. But you do
realise he's only doing that on a temporary basis because somebody couldn't do it.
Yeah. Hopefully it will continue to be temporary for a little bit longer, but some great content. Of course, if you want to go and if you haven't checked out that KUMB content, look for the opinion tag at the top of any page on KUMB. Under there, you'll see content for some fantastic writers. Other lads that I haven't had a mention tonight, Chris Wilkerson, who has been our match reporter for the last few years. Fantastic, writes some brilliant match reports. Mike Corsten, people like that, Malcolm Curran. Terry Land, of course, has been around for many, many years. Some fantastic stuff. Trevor Toohig as well, who's working with Hammers United. Some really good contributors. So if you haven't done it already, go and check out the content in the opinion section on KUMB.
And Rio's boy as well. He's doing.
How can I forget? A certain Steve Barlow, who's written plenty of excellent articles for your enjoyment. Again, you just go and have a look in the opinion section, and you'll see.
And Nick Fretwell's done a couple, and no, he won't too bad.
Has he? Has he?
Yeah.
I'm sure they were particularly. Do you know what? There's hundreds. There's so many people that have written for us over the years. It would be impossible to remember them all. But it's always amazed me at the high quality of content that we've been fortunate enough to publish on the site. But anyway, that's enough self backslapping with regards to our own stuff, and let's move back to the awards. Category number 4. We're going back to DL for this one, and this is for the most improved player. This can be a young gun who's coming through from the academy, making his first steps into the first team, or it could be a wily old campaigner who maybe has just had an exceptional season in his dotage. But anyway, let's see what you, the readers, felt of it tonight.
Well, the first winner of the category ever was 97-98 awards of Frank Lampard. Oddly enough, I can't see him winning many awards for us now, to be fair. Back to the present day. Day. In third place, we have Craig Dawson. He's done all right, actually, this season.
Yep.
Second place, which is who I voted for, to be honest, Aaron Cresswell. What a season he's had. What a season. Yep. He's a well-deserved runner-up. But not as deserving as the winner, who on getting half of the vote is our little Spanish maestro, Pablo Fornals. He will join the likes of Angelo Bonner, Robert Snodgrass, Declan Rice, and Pedro Obiang going back to 2016-17. A worthy winner, a well-worthy winner. He's an absolute... how can you describe him? He's a midfield maestro, but he's also a little engine, isn't he? He's part of the engine room of the team. He does all the stuff that he gets stuck in. He does the hard work, and if he can add a few more goals to his game, he's going to be some player. He's going to be some player. So, well done, Pablo.
Yeah, Pablo Fornals picking up his second KUMB award, previously named as your best signing last year. His first at the club, which is interesting, Rio, because if he was the best signing last year, and he's the most improved this year, I mean, he's got to be off the scale by now, hasn't he?
Well, last year was a bit of a disappointing one, wasn't it? So,
yeah.
I mean, Suchek coming late with a challenge, but Pablo I thought was excellent last season for us. And the fact that people think he's pushed on even further is an indictment of his talent and his work rate and his all-round general play. We don't half miss him when he ain't playing. That's the biggest compliment I can pay to him. And also, he's forced himself back into the Spanish reckoning. He's on standby for the Spain squad. So, not many rubbish players get to do that. So, it's a mark of quality, if you ask me. So, well done, Pablo.
Do we know what the latest situation is on that, Rio? I must confess, I've not seen the news in the last 48 hours. He was training in a separate bubble, wasn't he, with 3 or 4 other players?
There was a COVID risk. So, as you say, training in a separate bubble. I've not actually found anything myself. I've been a bit preoccupied with work. But I've heard no confirmation he's been called up for the full squad yet, but he's still training away.
There it is, Pablo Fornals, your most improved player this year. Craig Dawson, third place, taking 7% of the votes. Aaron Cresswell, 36%. And as Deal said, Pablo Fornals taking half the vote, 50%. Gnome, who would you have gone for? Pablo yourself or perhaps somebody else this year?
I'm trying to remember which way I did vote. I've completely forgotten, to be honest. It's been a long year.
It's terrible getting old.
Yeah. Yeah, you can mock, just wait. Anyway, he has improved. I think last year, particularly his first couple of games, I think it was a bit of an eye opener to him. He's arrived from whence we signed him, obviously sur le continent, and I think the first time I saw him, that might have been away at Brighton. I think it might have been his first game, and he looked a bit shell shocked, shall we say, at whether it be the pace, the physicality, but clearly he sort of walked away from that and then thought, right, so that's what it's like. So what have I got to do to make an impact here? And he's done it. So well, I can't remember who I voted for, as I say, but I certainly wouldn't have any argument with the result in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, good stuff. I mean, I personally wouldn't have gone for Fornals because I thought he was terrific last season. I felt he maintained his form this year. I know there was a lot of people on the forum weren't there that were sort of unsure as to whether he was going to make it, but he certainly pushed on this year. But there you go.
I mean, when he arrived, clearly he had skill, but it was that adapting to the English game, which I know it's an old hacky cliche, but never was that more true with Fornals.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a very good point, actually. But so there you go. Your most improved player this year, the fourth category of the evening, Pablo Fornals, his second ever KUMB award. As I said, following on from his best signing win last year. Some other names that have cropped up in this category in the past. DL mentioned a few there. Frank Lampard, Mark Vivian Foe, Michael Carrick, Glenn Johnson, Christian Daly, Stephen Bywater, George McCartney, Jonathan Spector, Winston Reid, Matt Taylor, Stuart Downing. There you go. Some interesting names. I'm not sure if that's, says something good about our recruitment policy or not. I'm looking at that list. But anyway, Pablo Fornals is definitely a very well-deserved winner. Some comments coming in on the live chat. Epic Hashtime says Soufal is world-class. Certainly one of the best right backs in the Premier League for sure. Alan Phillips says Irons. Dave Evans says all the best, DL. Good to put a face to a name. Chris Snelling making a very good point, actually. Eastham Martin is missed as a good scribe. Eastham Martin, of course, who used to do some fantastic match reports and some good articles. He came back, didn't he, last year for a couple, but we've not heard from Martin since. So, Martin, if you're out there, if you're listening or watching, if anyone knows him, get writing again. We miss your work. It's absolutely fabulous. Stephen Daltrey asks, Rio, no metal band T-shirt tonight?
It's a club night, isn't it? It's a celebration of everything West Ham. So I've got a Motorhead one awaiting a debut on the live stream, but that'll be next year.
There you go, Stephen. So what's this? Stephen Dutcher also says well-disturbed winner.
Yes, that's what you said. you meant to say disturbed, but it came out as disturbed. So,
there you go. I told you it's that jab. It's sending me all over the place. But anyway, my apologies. Thank you, Stephen, for pointing that out. Yes, and known for actually listening to what I'm saying. But anyway, we are a third of the way already through tonight's categories. We're going to move on swiftly to number 5 now. Who's next? Rio, is it you? This one, the worst player of the year award.
Oh, that's me, I think.
No, Gnome's got this one. So, worst player of the year. Now, okay, this is one that a lot of people, in reply to the forum thread, said that they didn't want to vote for it because they didn't think anyone deserved it. So we thought we'd keep it in there because maybe there was one or two contenders, and let's see how it's turned out anyway. I'll let Gnome bring you the full details. The worst player of the year, Gnome.
All right. Well, in third place with 17% of the vote was Andriy Yarmolenko. In second place with 25% of the vote was Sebastian Haller. So, in first place, and this probably came as a reminder to most people who may have blotted it out of their memory that he had in fact played for us this season. But in first place, the worst player of the season award goes to Mr. Wilshere.
Jack Wilshere taking 47% of your votes to become the latest worst player of the year, beating Sebastian Heller's 25% and Yarmolenko with 17%. Jack Wilshere's second KUMB award. The other one was not particularly good one either. He was the winner of your worst signing. He was the runner-up in the worst signing category in 2018-19. So
he's got one better then. He's got an award this time. Yeah, I mean,
it's not been a particularly good spell at West Ham, was it, for Jack?
He's not the first injury-prone player that we've signed not to be seen very much of. The words Kieran and Dyer leap to mind. So, as I say, until people started putting that up, I'd forgotten completely that he'd actually played for us this season. Obviously, he got a bit of game time at the start of the season.
Yeah.
I think Yarmolenko's a little bit unfortunate, given that most of this season he's been in the Wilshire Dyer Memorial Physiotherapy Facility.
Yeah.
And Haller's an interesting one. I think he's just wrong player at wrong time. He's a decent player, but just not the way we tend to play at the moment. Decent players, or rubbish players don't put away those overhead kicks like that one against Palace, for example.
Yeah.
It's just one of those unfortunate ones that never quite worked out. And Wilshire. I mean, when did we finally let him go? There was, yeah.
Well, he signed for Bournemouth in January, I think, didn't he? In the end, at the start of the transfer window, he played once for us, didn't he? This season, I think it was it Brighton, perhaps? Not Brighton. Who was it in the Carabao Cup? We played.
We had Charlton and Hull, didn't we?
Yeah, it was one of those, possibly Charlton. If anyone remembers, let us know in the chat. Only played one game this year, and everybody's. I mean, Rio, looking at the results there, it's sort of dominated by finance, really, isn't it? Haller, I think, pretty much there because of his transfer fee. Jack Wilshere probably because of the fact we know that he was costing the club in excess of £100,000 a week.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, Yarmolenko suffers from his price tag as well a little bit.
Yeah,
he's not had a great spell, but he's popped up with some vital contributions at times. With Jack, he was a great player, wasn't he, when he was at Arsenal?
Yeah.
Sadly, injuries have took their toll, and he's never going to hit that high notes again. And it's unfortunate that he joined us to prove that. And what with the onset of the BLM movement as well, and everyone taking a knee before the game, he used to take the knee and not get up until the 78th minute. So it was a waste of money.
Yeah, it didn't work out at all, did it? DL joined by Zach, I see there. Hi, Zach. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Gonna say hello.
Hi, you buddy. Good to see you. I hope you're looking after Dad.
Yeah, he's nodding.
DL, Jack Wilshere, pretty clear winner in this category, taking as many votes as Haller and Yarmolenko together. Was he your choice in this one?
I think that might have been one I didn't vote for because, I can't really pop Yarmolenko. He's not really had a chance this year. And if you don't fit the style of play, don't fit the style of play. It's one of those categories that I think that with the season we've had, it's a bit undeserving. And the fact that somebody that only played for us once this season has won it just goes to show how well we've done this year.
Absolutely does. And, sort of looking back at that rogues gallery there of previous winners of the worst player category. Very first ever winner of that was Ian Dowie back in 1997. Took it again the following year, shared it with Andy Impey, and then players such as, look at this list. Titi Kamara, Gary Bream, Wayne Quinn, Don Hutchison, Nigel Quinn, Nigel Quasi, Lewis Bowen Morte, Diego Tristan, Matthew Upson, John Carew, Emmanuel Pogatetz, Alou Diarra, Kevin Nolan, which was an interesting one. That was the year he kind of fell out with him, wasn't it? Cole Jenkinson, Gokhan Torre, Joe Hart, Andy Carroll, another one who was, barely able to get out of the treatment room. But an interesting list of players in that one. But Jack Wilshere winning that one now, as we said, playing his football down at Bournemouth in the Championship. Moving swiftly on, we're nearly at the halfway mark. This is a good one. I like this one. And there was some serious competition in this particular category this year. This is category number 6 tonight. It's the Goal of the Season award. And, we scored. So, I mean, we do the top 10, which was selected by readers of the KUMB.com forum. And, we could have picked an awful lot more goals. There were so many choices. Usually we're struggling to find 10 excellent goals. In this category, but it was easy to do that this year. Well, 10 goals, full stop. Yeah, exactly. But no problem this year. And we rattled it down to the final 4 to go on social media, which people have been voting on in the last week or so. So let's see who's the winner. Category 6 Goal of the Season. Over to Rio for this one. Rio.
Yeah, very hotly contested category this year. One of my favourites. Past winners were seeing Declan Rice last year. The very first one was John Hartson, 97-98.
Do you remember that?
The likes of Lazaridis, Di Canio, Sinclair, Zamora, Anton Ferdinand, Mark Noble, Dean Ashton. A plethora of absolute quality strikes. But this year, in third place, with 5% of the vote, was Sebastian Heller for his effort against Crystal Palace. In second place, with 10%, Jesse Lingard for his strike against Wolves, which I think was a Michael Owen-esque one.
Yes, yeah,
but
one off the length of the pitch. In
a year when we've got so many quality strikes, an absolute runaway winner, and it's probably no surprise, 82% of the vote goes to Manuel Lanzini against Tottenham. I think the emotions played a huge part in that, but it was a superb effort, wasn't it? Absolute rocket of a goal. And yeah, a thoroughly deserved winner. Absolutely quality goal and a quality moment of the quality season.
Yeah, we sat there, Rio, didn't we, watching it? We was doing the live show on Eyes Up Mother Brown, and what was it, 82 minutes, wasn't it? We were 3-0 down.
Yeah, 82 minutes. We pulled that first one back. Then Suko put the cross in, which deflected home. And I just had a feeling that we were going to win it. But, you know, as time ebbed away, we needed something special just to pick up the point. And you ain't going to get much more special on that one.
No, that's for sure. I mean, DL, everything about it was just perfect, wasn't it? It's Tottenham away. We're 3-0 down. A wonderful goal, and just the celebration afterwards was just incredible. Even David Moyes was doing a celebratory jig, wasn't he, on the touchline?
It was. I think that might even have, I mean, as goals go, yeah, it was a good strike. But I think Haller's overhead was, for me, the best goal of the season, taken out emotion. But I did vote for Lanzini because of the emotion side of it. And really, I think that may well have been the turning point of our season,
Yeah,
that flew into that top corner. Because I think it just gave the entire team belief. And it goes a long way in football. So just for what it was worth, goal of the season. Can't argue with it.
No, I mean, 82% runaway winner in that one. And yet, Gnome, look at the competition. Now, we haven't even mentioned the runner-up yet. What a brilliant goal that was from Jesse Lingard. I mean, I think was it Soufal who started the move at the back with the header, and it worked, we worked it through that wonderful little 1-2, and then Lingard. I mean, that was the moment, really, wasn't it, that we thought, well, hang on a minute, we might just have all been wrong about Lingard here.
Yeah, I mean, that was, although obviously it will go down and everybody will remember it as a fantastic solo effort. There was a lot more team in that goal than you think at first impression. Apart from the bit at the beginning where the interplay with Soufal and all that. But I think, was it Antonio did that diagonal run that took the defenders away?
Yeah,
and that was just such a clever. That's something you can't really teach. If you're a natural striker, you'll know that you make that run, because one or two things are going to happen as you go across. Either you're going to get the ball, in which case you've got a goal, you've got an effort on goal to come, or you take a player and you create a bit of space behind you, which is what actually happened. So, I think Lanzini's goal, his context is everything with that one, isn't it? But for an inch or two either way, we'd have been lauding Lingard, I suppose. But I'm still laughing at that goal now. I think also it managed to sort of codify, if you like, sort of difference between West Ham and Tottenham. Because if you look through our podcasts going back, and we didn't win every game, we lost some, and I think by and large we sort of took it on the chin, and we lost well. We didn't play well. We said so. Just look at the Tottenham podcasts on that, and I'm still laughing at it. Just the way they took it, and it was just thought, that sums you lot up.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was it. That was just almost as beautiful as the goal, wasn't it? The reaction from the two lads in the studio there, throwing their phone across the room.
Still laughing now.
It's fantastic. It was actually. It turns out that was the third goal scored against Tottenham that's won this particular award, and it's up against stiff competition if you look at the others. Ravel Morrison scoring against Tottenham. Took it in
that should have won it, whoever that was against. That was just one hell of a goal. Being against Spurs was the icing on the cake for that goal. That was just class and quality.
Stunning, wasn't it? Stunning. And then in 2018 or 17, Pedro Obiang's another sculpture.
At Wembley, yeah.
Was that the winning goal that night?
No, we drew one each. We've been up against it for most of the game. Freezing, I think February night. We were up the other end, and most of the game we've been under the cosh, but good defending. Then all of a sudden he's 20, 30 yards out, and this screamer goes in from nowhere.
Wallop. Take that.
I mean, the goal that equalised from Song was a little bit useful as well, has to be said. But I think as I was waiting for a signal failure on the way up to Wembley that evening in the freezing cold, if you'd said, look, it'll be 1-1, then I'd have taken that. So it'd be slightly disappointed that we gave a lead away. Probably a little bit churlish.
Yeah, 3 glorious goals there against Tottenham. Dave Evans says that any goal against Spurs is worthy. And talking about defeats, Hobo says, to be fair, taking defeat on the chin is something we've had extensive training in over the years. So fair point, Hobo. Just going back to the worst player category, Stephen Daltrey, who is actually Stevie Rockstar on the forum. Stephen asks, was Andy Impey actually that bad? We must have been pretty decent that year. Rio, what are your memories of Impey? He seemed to. I remember he had a nickname on the forum at the time. I think people called him Gimpy, didn't they?
Yeah. He wasn't the worst player I've ever seen. I think he was a victim that he come in and he was obviously brought in as the right wing back. Yeah. But because he wasn't as good as his previous incumbent, he kind of suffered, and he was someone that no one really wanted. I mean, he did do a fantastic strike. I think it was up at Pride Park. But apart from that, he didn't impress at all. It wasn't awful. He wasn't great. No, he was just one of them. Oh, he played for us, did he?
Yeah,
right, and that was it. Kind of players,
Yeah, kind of instantly forgettable in the annals of West Ham history.
We flog him to Leicester.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
Because I can remember we played them not long afterwards, and there was the chant of "We've got Joey Cole, we've got Joey Cole, you've got Impey, we've got Joey Cole," which I thought was quite a good one. But of course, he was another player. The second we signed him, got injured. He had a condition called hammer toes, whatever that is, and we signed him, and he wasn't able to play.
Isn't that a rival podcast?
Probably.
There you go, Stephen. I hope that answers your question for you, Andy Impey. Anyway, we are halfway through tonight's KUMB Awards ceremony. 6 categories decided, 6 more left to go. Just before we move on, Chris Snelling says that one of the many things I enjoyed about Lanzini's goal was that it was as much a turning point in our season as a needle in the balloon of theirs. And I guess when you look back, DL, and consider the fact that had they won that game, they would have finished above us in the table and qualified for Europa League. And of course, there are a lot of other variants, that you have to take into account. But it's interesting to note that did kind of ultimately make the difference, didn't it?
Yeah.
Shame.
Oh dear. Never mind. So you can say, innit? It's Spurs. Oh dear, no. I'm still laughing that they were supposedly was going to be in this European Super League. Yeah.
Remember when they won the league in November?
Yes. Yes.
That was it. I mean, we did the opposition view that night, didn't we, for that game? And after they were 3-0 up, there was, they were all talking about, winning the league. I think was that just after they'd done Man U 6-1 at Old Trafford.
Yeah, something like
5-1, whatever it was. But they were convinced that this was the year, ending in a 1, of course. Ultimately ended in complete disappointment as usual. But there you go. Anyway, that's enough about Tottenham. Category number 7, the most memorable match. I've got a feeling that what we've been talking about might just re-emerge here, but we shall see, of course. The most memorable match category is going to who's on this? Rio, is it?
No, this is me.
No, sorry, I'm completely losing.
This is me.
DL, over to you. Most memorable match of the 2020-21 season.
Yeah, I ain't going to go into past winners, so I'm just going to go straight on. In third place was Aston Villa away on the 3rd of February when we won 3-1. In second place, Leicester City away on the 4th of October when we won 3-0. That was a good game, actually. And in first place, and for the 5th time, this match has won most memorable match. It's one against Tottenham. Brilliant. 75%
What a surprise.
of the vote. 75%. Brilliant. 3-3, 18th of October. The Spuds crying in their beers. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Let's do it again next season. Let's be their bogey team. Let's stuff them up. Let's make them cry again because it's lovely.
As Deal says, the 5th time a match versus Spurs has taken the most memorable match award. 1998, 2014, 2017, 2018, and now 2021 against Tottenham. And now, I mean, DL, yet again, this is another category. There's so many games here that in another season, you know, would have been in there. I mean, beating Tottenham at home, beating Wolves 4-0, going to Everton and winning. I mean, that game against Arsenal, I mean, it didn't turn out really well, but in terms of being memorable, it was certainly, you know, the 3-3 draw. The final game of the season, beating Southampton 3-0, which was such an important game. I mean, what a choice we had this year. Amazing, wasn't it?
We had we were spoiled for choice this year, which goes to show what a brilliant season we've had. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's Tottenham.
You have one.
It's Tottenham. It's Tottenham. It's Tottenham. That's all you got to say. You know, and it's not a case of we're transfixed by them. It's because they are so up themselves every time, and every time they fall flat on their face, which is going to happen. It's without a shadow of a doubt, they are going to fall over and they're going to graze their knees and break their nose every single time. And it's great when we do it. That's the thing. Because they give it all the mouth and stuff like that. And we don't have a lot to celebrate. Let's be right here, you know. And when we stop them in getting into the Champions League, or we absolutely hammer them, all right, we didn't hammer them, but you know what I mean? We turned their season and turned ours at the same time. It's just brilliant. It's what football's all about.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, Rio, you know, let's cast your mind back. We were sitting there, weren't we, on the live stream and, you know, conceded that early goal. And I think it was, 14, 15 minutes, wasn't it? And we were 3-0 down. And, you know, we were dreading the next 75 minutes, weren't we? And then, well, I mean, what can you say? That's just football, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, after about half an hour mark, instead of like the normal West Ham thing of caving in and like conceding 4 or 5, possibly 6, there seemed to be some kind of galvanising effect. We edged our way back in the game. The last 10 minutes of the first half, we played some decent stuff. We started asking a few questions. And, okay, it took a little bit longer in the second half than we anticipated, but as soon as that first goal went in, you just sensed that something was going to happen. And it seemed to have a galvanising effect on the squad. I mean, the celebrations after the third goal went in, everyone on the pitch, coaching staff included, it was one of those beautiful moments you love to see at West Ham United. And it showed the unity in the squad, and it showed a self-belief that West Ham very rarely show, you know. Coming from 3-0 down doesn't happen very often. Coming from 3-0 down against them lot, definitely not. Coming from 3-0 down against a team who claim they're one of the best in the league and they're going to win it, and European Super League side, you know, yeah.
I suppose if you'd kept the most disappointing moment of the season, it would be there being no fans at the game to have actually seen that.
Yeah. I mean that would have been incredible, wouldn't it? I mean, you know, you get the feeling it wouldn't just be the players who ended up on the pitch. It would have been everyone West Ham persuasion. But amazing. I mean, no, you know, we said, you know, was that the turning point for our season? You know, Rio's mentioned how it galvanised the playing squad and the coaches as a unit, and we never really looked back from there, did we? Had the odd dodgy defeat, but do you think that's the time that the team actually started to believe that they were as good as they proved to be in the end?
It was certainly part of it. I think the turning point was a little bit more of a flatter curve than a sharp deviation. We started off playing well, and we were very unlucky to lose to Arsenal, I think, which had been the week before, or around that time. And so we did, but you know, it already started. I mean, even when we were 3-0 down, as Rio was saying, that I think if you were to look back on the recording of that thing, I think the four of us who were sitting here, we're all saying, well, you know, it's annoying because we're not actually playing that badly. You know, they've sort of stitched it largely on the break, as I recall. So,
yep.
But yeah, I mean, I just rather they'd have, I mean, sweet though the third or fourth minute stoppage time or whatever it was. For the benefit of my heart medication and stuff, I'd have kind of preferred it a little bit earlier. I think my pulse rate must have gone into quadruple figures at one point there. But, yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's always fun to beat them. There's a photograph of the day we beat them that became the first people to win at their even score at their so-called new stadium. There's that great photograph of Antonio celebrating in front of us. In fact, I'm in that one as well. He just seemed a little head popping up. Somebody, but and I always think whenever I see that photograph, and I just think, you know, we've had a season and a half without fans in there, and yeah, it's those moments that you miss, where that just sheer elation, and you know, it's even the Olympic Stadium. I'm guessing it's still not my favourite place, but yeah, I want to get back to somewhere watching football. Yeah,
yeah.
Even Crystal Palace away.
Nice. I mean, Leonard Brook. In those restricted view seats, of course. Leonard Brook says, my Spurs supporting mate had been giving it large at me all match, including the text that said, "We've got Bale coming on. Who have you got, Lanzini?" He hasn't spoken to me since, says Leonard. There you go. So there it is. Your most memorable match of course it was Tottenham 3, West Ham United 3. The Hammers 3-0 down, as we said, with just 8 minutes of normal time to go. You know, pulled it out of the fire and you know, never looked back after that. We're going to have to move swiftly on because Euro 2020 starts about a year late, but in about 38 minutes, and we've still got 4 more categories to go. So 5, in fact, to go. Category number 8, we're going to move on to now. This one is Gnome, who's going to give us the results of this one. And it's for Young Player of the Year. Before anyone asks, to be eligible to take part in this particular award, you have to be 21 or younger at the start of the season. So even if you're 22 on the second Saturday, you can still take part in this one. So Gnome, category number 8, Young Player of the Year. The results, please.
Yeah, in third place was Adamipo Odibeku with 3% of the vote. Second place with 25% of the vote was Ben Johnson. Runaway winner, and as I say, I wasn't quite listening to the qualification rules, but I suspect he won't qualify next year. Runaway winner, 72% of the vote, none other than Declan Rice.
Declan Rice picking up the Young Player of the Year award for the 4th consecutive season. Won it in 17-18, 18-19, 19-20. As Gnome rightly says, he will not be eligible for this category anymore. This was the last year he could have won it, being 22 back in January. But I mean, you know, I suppose in some way, Gnome, it sort of says something about the academy, doesn't it? That, you know, we've had no one else really coming through who could challenge Declan. But you get the feeling that might not be the case for the next few years. You know, Johnson there has emerged as a real first-team squad member. Odebeko come through. Some other Jamal Baptiste and a few others coming through, looking really, really good for the future.
Yeah, I mean, with the academy, every time I hear something, I almost dread hearing about how good a young academy player is, because normally the next thing I hear about them is that they've picked up an injury. That's happened a few times. I mean, Nathan Holland has been touted as the next sort of hope sort of thing, and poor lads suffer with injuries. Yeah, you could say there's that the academy. I'm just wondering though if we'd had more academy players coming through this season and the last season, the season before, and the season before that.
Yeah, how
well would they have had to have done to oust Declan Rice for this? Because he's been inspirational. You've got a player there that when he was missing for those however many games it was towards the end of the season, that had a major effect on our season. We dropped off a little. He is so indispensable at the moment, and he's so indispensable. He's in that age category, so you're going to have to go somewhere beat him for Young Player of the Year. I mean, 72% says it all. Thoroughly justified, thoroughly deserved. Seems a very likable young man, and always seems to have a smile on his face whenever you see him on the telly. And what was the comment? He might have his first pint if England win the Euros. Me too, Declan. Me too.
Declan Rice, your Young Player of the Year for the 4th consecutive year in a row. Rio, a well-deserved winner in your book?
Absolute runaway. No competition, really. I think it's a mark of how good he is that he's forced himself not to be the key fulcrum of the West Ham side, but for my money, he's the key player on the England side. Yeah. He's making us tick. He looks natural at international level, which is, I can't give higher praise to the young man because, when's the last time a West Ham player looked like he belonged in the England side and we'd look a poorer side without him, isn't it? So, well-deserved, Deck.
Yeah, well done. 4 in a row, and some exalted company there. Rio Ferdinand, Frank Lampard, past winners, Michael Carrick, Jermaine Defoe, Glenn Johnson, Mark Noble, Jack Collison, Evan Hines. One player who's perhaps conspicuous by his absence there is Freddie Sears. Never won the Young Player of the Year award. Thought he might have done it in that breakthrough season, but I think that was the year Mark Noble won it for the 2nd time in a row. Anyway, DL, Declan Rice, deserved winner for you. Was he who you voted for this year?
He was, yeah. But special mention for Ben Johnson.
Yes.
Well, he's doing all right. He's learning. He's in a difficult position as well. He's being switched from one side to the other. Sorry, I'm not talking about Declan. Everything's been said about him. So let's talk about Ben Johnson, who deserves a bit of credit there. He's played right back, left back. Nice versatile player to have, and hopefully he'll push on again next season. Stick him in for a few Europa games. I know people say play your strongest team, but it's not always possible. I still don't think we're going to have the biggest squad. So give him some minutes in the Europa, and he'll push on. I think I've always liked him. Good
stuff. Stephen Jaltree, talking about Ben Johnson, says that for me he showed flashes of brilliance and real potential. Other games he looked out of his depth, but I guess it's only to be expected, isn't it? He's only 21. He's still learning his trade, and difficult season, thrown in at the deep end, on several occasions, but did very well. But Declan, of course, the runaway winner, can't win it next year. It's someone else's opportunity, but to win it 4 years in a row is quite exceptional. And of course was the main player of the year last year. Category 9 we're going to move on to now, which is, I always like this one, Hackett of the year, named, of course, in memory of Keith Hackett, the referee that sent off Tony Gale in that infamous FA Cup semi-final against Nottingham Forest. Basically, it's an award for the biggest villain of the year. And we've had some interesting winners of this one in the past, from Dave Whelan, the very first winner in 2006, 2007, the Wigan chairman who wanted to sue West Ham after playing Carlos Tevez. Lord Griffiths, of course, in there, Abraham Grant, Ida Good Johnson, Chico Flores, Barry Hearn, Roy Hodgson. I think that was the year he refused to play Mark Noble. Dimitri Payet, the year he left. Karen Brady's won it a couple of times. Let's find out who's won it this year. Gnome, is this one?
No.
Number 9? Oh, we'll get this right eventually. Sorry, Rio. Hackett of the year, Rio, please.
Okay, hotly contested as per usual, but the top 3 are in 3rd place with 14%, Jim White. In 2nd place with 19%, our erstwhile frugal chairman, Mr. David Sullivan. But the runaway winner, and the first time he's ever won this, surprisingly enough, with 47% of the vote, Mr. Mike Dean.
Hey,
Mike Dean, of course, the referee who sent off Thomas Souček memorably after clashing with Alexander Mitrovic of Fulham at Craven Cottage that day. The question, I think, Rio, is how has Mike Dean never won this before?
Well, if you looking back at the past winners, there's been some tough competition, and it's hard to see how he could have broke into that, to be honest. He's the first referee to ever win it. It's remarkable. I know I'm probably reaching for his heart tablets at the moment, hearing that news, but yeah.
I can't think of a more deserving winner of an award this evening. The bloke should not be refereeing professional football matches. Simple as that.
I'm glad it's as simple as that, because we've only got a half hour to go, and we could have been on a lengthy tirade about the state of PGMOL and the refereeing fraternity.
I'm on my best behaviour.
We'll save that for next season. DL, Mike Dean, what a plonker.
Yeah. I can't say what I want to call him because it's a family-friendly programme. My children are out. So, yeah, he's... Gnome said it all. What can you say? Let's not give him any attention. That's what he craves. Strange man.
Yes, Mike Dean taking 47% of your vote to become the latest Hackett of the Year, which SH says should be renamed the Brady. Maybe it'll be like, the Brazil in the World Cup. If she wins it once more, she should have won it 3 times, and then perhaps, we can rename it. We'll see. But anyway, Mike Dean, the latest recipient of the Hackett of the Year award in our 9th category this year. 3 left to go, 29 minutes before the Euros begin. So we're going to rattle through these at a reasonable pace, give you a chance to stop, have a cup of tea. Category 10, which DL is going to bring us.
Right, yes, cool.
Is your most memorable moment of the 2020-21 season. Loads of, now this was a new category last year, which we pretty much chiefly created just so that we could give an award to David and Alvin Martin for that, tearjerker of an embrace after we beat Chelsea 1-0 at Stamford Bridge in Martin's debut. When he went to the stands and cuddled his dad, which had us all reaching for the Kleenex, and not for that reason. The most memorable moment of 2020-21 DL.
In 3rd place is 6th consecutive January wins. That was on 10% of the vote. In 2nd place, which is really good, Kufal tells Frederick not to apologise to Grealish. And in 1st place, with 53% of the vote, which is where I also voted, qualifying for Europe in the league for the first time in Christ knows how long.
53% of the vote, 53% of you felt that qualifying for Europe, that final day win against Southampton, was the most memorable moment of the season. I suppose, you could encompass quite a few things with that, couldn't you, DL? But, as you said, to finish 6th, having almost, been relegated the season before was just remarkable, wasn't it?
It was remarkable. And what's even more remarkable is I think some of us were disappointed we never got those extra 2 points that would have put us 4th.
Yeah.
Because I know I was. We could have done it. We were so close. We could have done it. But that's for another day anyway, because that could turn into a long discussion, the Wares and the Wi-Fi. Just celebrate. We're going on a European tour next year. How great is that? Magic,
isn't it? Runner-up in this category with a little more than a quarter of the votes, Gnome, was the moment when Vladimir Soufal pulled up Brian Fredericks and told him not to apologise to Jack Grealish. I mean, the two of them have been enjoying a running battle, haven't they, all game? And, I think it's fair to say that Soufal had the hex on the England midfielder that night, didn't he?
I think that was the one I voted for. Mainly, not that I don't think anybody could be as more overjoyed than I am at the fact that we've qualified for Europe through the league. But to me, that wasn't a moment. That's a sort of a whole season-wide thing. Whereas moments, I think of those little quirky moments in games that little silly things happen. I think of who was it that Mark Noble lifted off the pitch for Man United when they were time wasting. Noble ran across and lifted him off the pitch. That sort of quirky little thing. And I just thought that was brilliant. And it summed up Soufal. But Soufal's only been at the club 5 minutes as well. He
kind of nailed himself in as a true hammer, didn't he? On that occasion. But really, really funny to see. And of course, he had Grealish in his pocket throughout the game. And of course, Rio, coming in 3rd, 6 consecutive wins in January, and we were absolutely flying at that stage of the season, weren't we? We were looking unbeatable. Well, we were unbeatable because we kept winning.
Yeah, it was an amazing run. I don't know who's more surprised, us or the rest of the footballing public. We hadn't seen West Ham do that kind of thing for many a year. It was statement of just how well in that post-Christmas period, like we lost, I think it's Balbuena was playing just before the Christmas break.
Yeah.
Craig Dawson stepped in and everyone thought, oh God, here we go. We're going to plummet down the table, but quite the opposite. And we went on an absolutely remarkable run. And it cemented our place in the upper echelons of the table. And we thoroughly deserved it. We played some excellent football. We made a lot of other teams sit up and think, no, this isn't the West Ham of the last few years who will cave in at every given opportunity. No, we produced results. We produced results playing excellent football at times as well, which are the biggest delight. I've got to agree with Noam. I mean, I wouldn't have gone in for either of those two moments. I mean, the Soufal Fredericks thing was one of my key ones, but I also enjoyed Soufal post West Bromwich Albion, the Hawthorns, when he got into the liquidator rather too much, to be honest.
I don't remember that. Remind me what he was dancing.
Well, yeah, as we know, West Brom also used the liquidator as their kind of theme music, and they played it on the way off. And off the pitch, you got Soufal drumming away, can't it? It's well worth watching if you can dig it out. It's available somewhere. But
yeah. Oh, we missed it at the time, of course, because we were on here. But I mean, there was a lot of little things like that. I mean, talking about the drumming, the goal celebration, Jesse Lingard's celebration, you know, where the team turned into an impromptu mariachi band, didn't they? Which was great. And then you know, we had Thomas Souček almost sort of channeling Terry Butcher, you know, refusing to seek attention when there was blood dripping from his head. Some really great individual little moments there. But
Craig Dawson marking his debut by kicking a Southampton player in the head, totally accidentally.
Yeah, fantastic.
It was fun.
So many of those could have been contenders this year. But you went for the moment West Ham qualified for Europe and you know, cemented that 6th place finish against Southampton on the final day of the season. Just for the record, those 6 wins in a row in January: 1-0 at Everton, 1-0 at Stockport, 1-0 at home to Burnley, 2-1 at home to West Brom, 4-0 defeat of Doncaster in the Carabao, in the FA Cup, sorry, and then the 3-2 win at the Premier League. Who stopped the run, Noam? Can you remember?
I can't remember last week, let alone last January.
Your old friends Liverpool.
Right, yeah, of course, yeah.
We lost 3-1, didn't we, on the 31st of January?
Fabianski chose that date, however, it's not his greatest game, I think.
Yes,
I think it was that night, wasn't it?
Channel did a Roberto that game, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, a bit of a blip. Of course, after that was the win at Aston Villa, which was referred to earlier on. But anyway, that was your favourite, most memorable moment of the season. The second time we've had that award, West Ham clinching the European spot in 6th place in the Premier League. 20 minutes or so till Euro 2020 begins. We've got 2 more categories to go here tonight before, and then we've got the big reveal. Who is going to be the new KUMB moderator? And we've had some applications in this week, and we said we're going to reveal the winner at the end of the show. So stay tuned if you want to know who that's going to be. Category number 11. Now this is the big one. This is the one you've all been waiting for, I'm sure. It's the big award. The KUMB.com Player of the Year, been won by some fantastic players since 1997. John Hartson was our first ever recipient of this award. Steve Lomas, Paolo Di Canio, Stuart Pearce, Joey Cole. The list is, you know, goes on and on. Some brilliant players have picked up this award. The reigning champion here is Declan Rice, and he's been in with a shout again. And I've got to say that up until this morning, there was still no clear winner in this category. It's a 3-horse race, and it could have gone any way. So let's find out who's actually picked the other 2 and everyone else to the post. Going over to Gnome for this one. Gnome for the results of the big one, the KUMB.com Player of the Year for 2020-21.
Yeah, well, it obviously evened out. The scores evened themselves out, and we did have a just about clear winner in the end. But in 3rd place, with 25% of the vote, was Declan Rice. In 2nd place, with 34% of the vote, was Vladimir Soufal. And the KUMB.com Player of the Year for 2020-21, it's the Czech one too, Thomas Souček, who won by 1%. over his compatriots with 35% of the vote.
Yeah, and there really wasn't many votes, in that at the end. There were several recounts along the way just to make sure that the lead hadn't changed. Yeah. But interestingly, that one, if I recall correctly, we took votes on 3 platforms: on the KUMB website, on Facebook, and on Twitter, and there was a different winner in each one. That's how close it was. But Thomas Souček, following up his best signing award from last year to become the 22nd, I think, different KUMB.com player of the year, 35% of your votes, narrowly pipping his compatriot Vladimir Coufal to the award. Gnome, Thomas Coufal, what a fantastic season he's had. What a player he's been for West Ham. Deserved winner for you?
Thomas Coufal.
I'm having a mare, aren't I, tonight? I'm glad we're nearly finished. Thomas Souček, even. We'll cut it out.
Yes, a much disturbed win. As you said earlier. Yeah, I don't think anybody could have argued with any of those 3 had they won. And it just shows what a good first team we've got when we've got everybody all fit and up and running. I let's just say definite class. I'm looking forward to seeing those 2 play. For Czechia, as we now must call it, according to Pointless. It's good to see those 2 in the Czech team because, from my point of view, it gives you something to look out for in games you wouldn't otherwise have much of an interest in. Yeah. So when you see that, how are they getting on? Definitely well deserved and valiant efforts from the other 2 as well.
Who did you vote for? No, may I ask?
I think it was Souček. Again, I can't really remember, but okay. As I say, had Rice won it, you couldn't have argued. Had Coufal won it, you couldn't have argued.
Very, very strong, wasn't it, this year?
And interesting. It's good to have that streak. To say a number of times it's been, somebody's like 96% of the vote. Yeah. Because we haven't had anyone, and he's the one who fell over least or something like that. Yeah. Which I'm sure must have happened in the past. Some of those relegation seasons.
Yeah, we've had a few of those, haven't we? But there you go. DL Thomas Souček is the KUMB.com Player of the Year for 2020-21. Is that someone you went for? Did you vote for him?
I didn't. I went for his checkmate. Curiously, after his comments, I wonder what it would have been if this was just a week later, whether he would have still got it after his comments recently in the media. But no, he's got it. Well done to him. He's still fully deserved. Would have liked to have seen his other mate get it, but no argument again from me. Well deserved.
Yeah, check one. So, of course, Vladimir Coufal winning the best signing awards. So between them, they've done pretty well, those 2 lads, haven't they, this year? Rio, someone mentioned earlier on Twitter in reply to the poll that their candidate hadn't even made the top 4. The other contender there was Angelo Ogbonna, who a lot of us were saying was a real contender at the start of the season, and he ended up getting, I think, something like 6% of the vote in the end, right out of it. But you look at the other players in this. You've got Michail Antonio, who ended up as our joint top scorer. Aaron Cresswell, the Premier League's leading number of assists for a defender. Pablo Fornals in the Spanish squad. Real quality throughout the squad this season. And I guess it's no surprise, is it, that it's ended up being so close?
No, not at all. I mean, it's testament to the way the coaching staff have galvanised the squad, as I've said, that we're playing so well as a team that no one individual has actually stood out. It's been accumulated effort. Everyone's chipped in, everyone's contributed, but everyone's delivering 7 out of 10 performances week in, week out, possibly more. As Gnome said, there have been years, I think even the club at one point, because there used to be, back during the war, so to speak, when he used to produce the Player of the Year on the pitch, used to be at 3rd place, the 2nd place, then the winner. But even the club gave up with that and only did a runner-up at one point because we were so bad. There's only one person really worthy of it. But I mean, it's so great to see so many deserving candidates because on the pitch, a lot of players have given their all, and they've absolutely shone, and they've made us really proud this season, and I'm delighted to see that.
Yeah, very much so. Well said. Well said. So there you go. The your player of the year for 2021, Thomas Souček, just pipping Soufal to the title, 35% to 34%. It really was so close, and came down to a number of votes on the final day. So just quickly running through, we've got one more to go before we can let you all go and enjoy the first game of the Euros, which is Turkey versus Italy, which kicks off at 8 p.m. this evening. The winners so far tonight: your most missed player, Robert Snodgrass, with 52% of the vote. Your best signing, Vladimir Soufal, 88%, the clearest winner in any category this year. The best KUMB writer went to Preview Percy, taking 43% of the vote. And your most improved player was Pablo Fornals with 50%. The worst player of the year was Jack Wilshere with 47% of your votes. And the goal of the season went to Manuel Lanzini. Who else for that strike against Tottenham? 82% voting for that one. The most memorable match, once again, the 3-3 draw at Tottenham with 75% of votes going to that one. Your young player of the year, Declan Rice. His only win, actually, this year in the awards. Picked up a few seconds and thirds, but for the fourth consecutive year, absolutely incredible stuff. For the final time that he's eligible, Declan Rice collecting 72% of the votes. Your Hackett of the year, for the first time ever, Mike Dean, referee Mike Dean, for that abomination of a decision when he sent off Thomas Souček down at Fulham. And your most memorable moment, the final day of the season when West Ham secured a 6th place finish and qualified for the Europa League. Finally, your player of the year, Thomas Souček, as we said, narrowly pipping his compatriot Soufal to the post, 35% of your votes. And that is just about it for tonight. There are one or two things left to go. We've got one more award to go, and it's another brand new award. We've already brought you the best writer, which is a new one. And we've also got another one because we've dropped 2 awards this year. Now, we did take votes. I should stress, we did take votes for the worst signing, but there were only 5 signings for the first team. And quite frankly, none of them deserved to be in a poll for worst signing. So we've just dropped that one this year. We did take some votes, but after listening to what a lot of you said, we decided just to scrap it for this year. So no worst signing this year, and same for most disappointing moment, although Gnome wisecracked earlier that his most disappointing moment of the evening was dropping the most disappointing
I've changed that now.
Okay, go on then.
Well, most disappointing moment of the evening is given the people that have won awards over the years. We've got Declan Rice, Dimitri Payet, and we've now got to add that name of Preview Percy in the same breath. That's got to be disappointing.
There you go, exalted company. He now stands. I'm sure he'll be celebrating at the Avram Grant Home for the Bewildered tonight. We'll be sinking a few baby shams with the rest of the residents there. But anyway, we have one more, as I said, one more category to bring you the result on, and that is for a brand new one. It is the KUMB Award of Distinction, which is, as I said, a brand new category specifically designed for the individual or individuals who have made a significant contribution to West Ham United Football Club during the past 12 months, or occasionally perhaps over a longer period of time. No list of names. It's just someone that we've sort of arbitrarily decided to come up with and give an award to find out who that is this year. I'm going to pass you over to Rio. So Rio, who is the first ever winner and why, if you will, of the KUMB Award of Distinction?
Please bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. They've given the task of doing this rather lengthy, for me, announcement to the person who speaks the littlest and doesn't say a lot normally. So if I stumble my words, I do apologise. But it's been a fabulous season for West Ham. Although he hasn't been mentioned so far, little of this would have been possible without the contribution of a certain manager, Mr. David Moyes. The Messiah took a team that has narrowly escaped relegation last season to the verge of the Champions League in what amounted to be an extraordinary contrast in fortune. And so, with great honour and great celebration, David Moyes is the thoroughly deserved winner of the first ever KUMB Award of Distinction.
There it is, David Moyes, the deserved. I think, come on, we'd all agree with that, wouldn't we? I mean, we've sat here and we've talked about, the season throughout and what a fabulous year it's been for the Hammers. But as Rio said there, Rio, none of this really would have been possible without Moyes, who of course we understand is about to put pen to paper on a 3-year deal.
Yeah, let's face it. The first time he was appointed, no one was happy with it. The second time, even less so. But he's recruited well. As we've mentioned numerous times throughout the night, he has galvanised this squad. He's brought everyone together. He's brought a work rate, an work ethic, which every West Ham fan loves to see. At times we play with no little flair. We play on a counter-attack with pace, verve and intent. At times we're an absolute joy to watch. And David Moyes and his backroom staff deserve enormous credit. But Mr. Moyes himself, you know, you can't fault a single thing he's done since his return to the club. And the longer he's here, building and building to what we hope he can aspire to, the better. So if a 3-year deal has been rumoured is on the table, he's about to sign, I can't wait, because after this season, it's been an absolute fantastic watch.
Thanks, Rio. Great stuff. David Moyes, the first winner of our KUMB Award of Distinction. You know, got to say, deserved, haven't you, after what he's done this year? That, you know, that remarkable turnaround that he's brought about.
Yeah. What we're seeing now, of course, is you know, spell one. He was sort of parachuted in, short-term deal, keep us up. Thank you and goodbye. Second time round, again, he was sort of parachuted in, and priority one was to keep us up. But what we've seen this season is the benefit of us having a team moulded by David Moyes, as opposed to one where he's come in to try to sort of bail out somebody else's mess. And it showed. The sort of spirit, the camaraderie. Second, that can't wait for the ink to dry on that contract. And Rio said when he first signed, nobody was happy about it. I'll put my hand up. There's video out there of me saying so on telly. Totally and utterly wrong. He's proved me wrong, and I've never been so glad to be proved wrong. Good luck to him, and as I say, let's just hope those with their hands on the purse strings will back him up in what he needs to do.
Yeah, very much so. Well said. DL, David Moyes, essentially on football scrap heap, wasn't he, after those spells at Sunderland and Sociedad and Manchester United? Came to West Ham, kept us up. Probably a little bit unlucky, you know, to be ousted at that point, or at least not offered a new contract. Come back and done an absolutely fabulous job. And now, you know, he's in demand again, isn't he?
He is. New Year's Day last year against Bournemouth. I'm not going to name names, but I was talking to a former player in the nice seat who wasn't particularly complimentary about David Moyes coming back. It would actually be interesting to hear his opinion now. To be honest, when he was saying it, I was agreeing with him, and it is great to be proven wrong. You know, I say stuff on the forum when people say, I'm not a fan of Ben Rama. That's well known. But I want to be proved wrong. It's not me having a vendetta against players. Or managers. I have an opinion against them. And if they prove me wrong, it's great, because it means we're doing well. But David Moyes, if he signs his 3-year deal, it'll be the best signing we've made this summer, no matter who we bring in, because he can take us places. I think he can take us places.
Yeah, very much so. Well, let's hope that's how it goes. But so there it is. The very first winner of the Award of Distinction is David Moyes for doing an absolutely incredible job with that squad and at the club this year. And you know, let's not forget, of course, you know, he was playing without a recognised striker for half the season. You know, hamstrung by limited resources. Just amazing stuff, and not just that, I guess. I mean, look at some of the players he pulled out the bag. You know, we haven't even mentioned the signing of Craig Dawson. That again, I think we all scoffed at and thought it would be a complete waste of time. Jesse Lingard, I don't think any of us were really particularly in favour of that signing. So you know, it's just been incredible, and we just hope, I think, that the club gives him. You know, it's one thing giving him a contract and keeping him at the club, but let's hope they back him this year, because you know, it's going to be a lot of demand placed on his shoulders with that European campaign. Potentially another 15, 18 games if we're to do well in that competition, and we're not going to be able to do it with the squad that we had last year, that's for sure. But there it is. That is just about it as far as the KUMB awards go for tonight. Thank you to everyone who joined us on the live stream. We will of course put a highlights package up on our YouTube channel for you to tune into if you haven't seen the whole show tonight. But we've got one more little task to go before we go, and we're going to rush through this quickly because Euro 2020 kicks off in 5 minutes. We've actually timed this pretty well for once, gentlemen, which is quite remarkable in itself. We have a new moderator to announce now. Sadly, DL is decided to move aside and put down his moderator keys to move on to other more worthy projects. And consequently, we need to replace him and find someone who's able to come in and, I won't say be able to do as good a job, because that's probably not possible, because he's been absolutely fantastic as a member of the team over the years, and will be very, very sadly missed. No, I say that sincerely, and I'm not joking. It's you've been brilliant, Nick. It's been great fun working with you, and I'm sure we all hope that if we do carry on the streams next year, even though you might not be a moderator, you'll be available to join us. But of course, that means we need to find someone else. We put a message out earlier this week or last week, whenever it was, asking for people to send in their applications. And it's fair to say that while there were a plethora of suggestions and nominations made via the KUMB forum, we had literally considerably less than dozens of applications for the position come in. But anyway, we sifted through the ones we had, and we reached a decision. We kind of agreed, having looked at what we've got, and I'm delighted to announce that following that.
Can I announce my successor?
Yes, why not? DL, over to you.
I think that's fair. And my successor is somebody who has been posting on the forum for a very long time.
15 years.
He's witty, he's clever, and he is a wordsmith. And it gives me great pleasure to announce my replacement will be Last Caress.
There it is. Last Caress is the new moderator on the KUMB team, aka Elsie, as DL said, has been posting on the forum for a long, long time. First became a member, just checking the records, on November the 23rd, 2006. 15 years, less than a life sentence. There you go, just about. But so within the next few days, Last Caress will join us on the moderating team at KUMB. We'll get him all set up. Nick, I think you're going to be his mentor, aren't you, for the next few weeks?
Yep, I'm able to stick around till I go on holiday on the 11th of July. So yeah, if he needs a nudge and stuff, I'm sure he'll be more than capable. Yeah, I'm happy to stick around for a little bit longer. I'm not going anywhere just yet. So if we're doing any Eyes Up Mother Browns for the England game as well, that might be fun. And if he wants to join us then as well, we can break him in gently.
We certainly can. So congratulations to Last Caress, and thank you for applying. He is our latest moderator. We don't have many on the site. I think we've only lost 4 or 5 over the years who have been with us. Most of us, certainly Rio, Gnome, and myself, have been around since the old forum. The old blue background forum, which was a nightmare to see, let alone moderate. But anyway, we've got 2 minutes to go before Euro 2020 begins, so we're going to wrap it up there. That is just about it for the 24th Annual Kumb Awards. Thank you for joining us live on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, to be informed first when our latest content is published. My thanks go tonight to my fellow KUMB moderators, to Rio, to Gnome, and possibly for the last time, to DL for helping me to bring you the results of this year's poll, and for keeping the forum a welcoming and fun resource to visit most of the time anyway, especially if you don't go in News Up Mother Brown. Finally, our collective thanks go to each and every one of you who voted, and by doing so keeping these alternative supporter awards very much alive in this our 24th year. If you'd like to discuss tonight's awards or anything else regarding West Ham United for that matter, you may do so by visiting the KUMB forum via our website at kumb.com. If you haven't already registered an account, which will enable you to join in the plethora of conversations, membership is free and simply requires an email account to join. So that's it for tonight. 60 seconds to go till Euro 2020 begins. How's about that for timing? Until next year, when we plan to return for the 25th Annual KUMB Awards, which should be a special one as we celebrate reaching a quarter of a century. Look after yourselves. Rio's pointing at something.
They're just delivering the ball by remote control car on
Yeah, but it's
I've had enough. Football's dead.
The game's gone. That's it. And we're gone as well. We'll see you all very soon. Have a wonderful summer. Come on, you Irons.
Look, look.